Oh, I might talk about. It's a gift from my friend Yui. Andy gave it to me. We'll be in the light in a second. I just posted I was checking the news, and of course there's world stuff we can talk on, or U.S. news, but I didn't want to repost a couple interesting articles, and I wasn't searching for anything particularly, just what would be kind of newsworthy. And then the article I just tweeted and shared on Facebook, it happened to be from KIII, and KRIS, who's fairly good at like news scoops, didn't have it. Color Times didn't have it, but KIII, which isn't really one of the better ones, they had it. But it was a shooting of a young son and killing in Sandia, Mathis area. And Jumos County Sheriff's Office, and I'll retell it, that's why I'll retell this. They had parents obviously had a son who was mentally disturbed or some type of an episode. This is dealing with not criminal activity. This is dealing with known mental issues and how people act out. Whether you're dealing with domestic violence or you're dealing with mental health. So they were called to the home the night before and then again the next day. And the young man was in the yard swinging an axe. I could take an axe from a mentally disturbed kid myself. Maybe he would get a swing. But give me two people, two of my street friends with no weapons, we'll get that kid on the ground. Guarantee you. Now, give me a stun gun, well, then for sure. So the kid with the axe went into the home, and the Jim Wells County deputies, knowing you should have taken that young man down outside, knowing there's a mental situation going on or a drug-induced thing, because the parents called the night before. But you have a certain standard that simply means if at any time we feel our life is in danger, we have the right to murder. That's your standard. And KIII said, officer involved shooting. So the boy went in the house, and then the deputies went in. And then the story says he came at them with the knife, and he's dead. I just told you I took a knife away from a girl that was in an argument with her husband. But the standard of policing is shoot him. You come at me with a knife, shoot him. That's your standard. Now, why Sandia? Why Mathis? I told this story to a friend the other day. The little history of South Texas. My daughter has a ranch in Sandia where I go to every so often. And one day I had my car at the ranch, and I used to pull it in a gate in Sandia, and it got stuck. It's not the caliche or the ground, you get stuck. Well, what I did was, on her property, I brought a couple of bags of cement. I used to spend the weekends at the ranch, and to prevent from getting stuck, I brought a couple of bags of cement on her property, not on county or city property, on private property. And I made like a little place, not a driveway, but where on her property, I'd pull up in the grass on her property and not go in that driveway. So, one day I had my vehicle parked there, on her property. And I was on her porch, but the Jim Wells deputies couldn't see me because one pulled up. You know, it's a couple hundred yards away, and the ranch, nice ranch, 3 acres. And I'm reading on the porch, it's closed in. So he stops. Jim Wells, cops, cops! Then he gets out of his vehicle. I told this before. And not like the cops who lie about strangling their fiancés and say, no, we're going to say it was rough sex. Lying your ass off and still on the department in that same location. How much money do we got to pay you guys for that? The father of lies? So I got out off of the porch in Sandia, where this young man was just killed. Same area. And I noticed he was walking around my car, looking at the fire department badges, checking, you know, on private property. Okay. I said, can I help you? Well, this car looks suspicious. I said, that car's perfectly legal. This property is owned free and clear by my daughter, who has the last name of me. She's not married. I said, so this is paid off property, like this house is, free and clear, and you're walking around why do you got all these badges and all? What is it? I'm a retired firefighter. Oh, okay. So will I come out here? I said, well, out here, because it's a new vehicle, we just thought it would look suspicious. Well, it's my car. It's legal. I don't have days in and out to be stopped. Let's see your ID, sir. Let's see. Go do your fucking jobs. Do your fucking jobs for one time in your life. Fight crime when there's real crime. So, this ain't the end of the story. I said, the reason I park it outside here, outside of the fence on her property, is I'm building this little dang, oh yeah, I understand. You get stuck out here. It says it's perfectly legally parked. I said, yep. No, he admitted it, yes, and it's on your property. Now, it's still also legal to park in the street in most cities. But besides, it was on the property. But he got mad because I confronted him that manner. After telling me it was legal to do all that. And yeah, I was confronted. So the next weekend, after him himself telling me it's legal, parked out on the weekend again, and it was a Friday afternoon, and then I noticed, like about 4 in the afternoon or 3:30, big red or orange sticker. This vehicle is illegally parked, and if you do not move it in 24 hours, it will be towed, because we are out to enforce law. No, you're not. You're out, and the next story, you should be in jail for the next crime, as we continue the story of the Jim Wells who just shot and killed a kid out there because they have the inability to rightfully diagnose a situation and to say, this kid's, something's wrong. Let's come at me with a knife, you're dead, which you killed him. So, I saw that big orange sticker, knowing that that son of a bitch, that Jim Wells County deputy, thought, I'll lie my ass off even though I agreed that this is a legally parked vehicle. And I'll put that on him because that's what we do. Oh, I was mad. So I took that sticker off to put it in my vehicle and to drive. Now, he signed the name where you couldn't read it. And I went ahead into Alice, which is where the county seat is of Jim Wells. So, I went to the police department. It was Friday afternoon. I was livid. I said, I got a question. I finally made it in through the side door. I said, I want to talk to who put this sticker on this legally parked vehicle and why they did it Friday night and all. And then, he saw it. He said, they do that on Friday because they know they're closed. The sheriff's department does not have regular hours 24/7. People are on rotation or dispatch, but they're not there at the sheriff's department. Same way in Claiborne County, weekend. Said, yeah, they do that on purpose. Cops telling me. Alice cop, they do it on purpose because they know you won't have enough time because it would be after 5. And then they don't come back until Monday. So you got to move it. Or they tow it. Though it's legal. Okay. But that's the sheriff's department. Okay, where's sheriff's department? You go down there. When the sheriff's department? But I had a call on the phone. I said, I'm outside your sheriff's department here, where it is in Jim Wells. Same people now I'm dealing with. I said, and I got a problem. One of you guys put a sticker on. Can you read it? I'll explain the whole situation. I said, now, I want this resolved. Finally, back and forth. They never send anybody to speak to me, talk to me. But she must have called the guy. Oh, yeah, I'm just fucking with a citizen. Then she got on the phone. I'll go and take the sticker off. Of course, I took it off. Now, he was pissed. And about 2 months later, a few months later, I was at my daughter's house. We were there for some festivity or whatever, and she didn't know about all this. And then she said, there goes that sheriff's deputy again. And this isn't a country where your kids, where you want protection for your kids. So, Dad, he's driving by the house again. He's been coming by this house every day for criminal bastards after kids. Then I knew. Because she didn't know a lot of this, what I told you. Then they go to Mexico. Rebecca and Lulu go to Mexico because they were helping the mom go down to Mexico and stuff. And I used to go out on the weekends. But they had a dog by the name of Han, a pit bull, who they were treating. And they do animal rescues and all types of stuff. And he was in the house. But there were many dogs outside in kennels because they do pet rescues. But this dog was being treated for rattlesnake bite, could not be out. So when they left that property that day, my daughter called me later when they got back. Somebody entered their home illegally. But she called me, Dad, did you come to the ranch today? I said, no. Somebody let Han, the pit bull, out. And somebody entered into the front door, walked through that residence, and went out the back door. But you can only lock the back door with a deadbolt. But whoever went in just assumed, oh, they're never going to notice this one dog that ran out, though we did know. And the back door, you couldn't deadbolt it from the back once you walked out. Then we understood that that deputy illegally made access, scoped out that house, that trailer, waited for them to leave, and on uniform. You see anybody else walking up to that residence would look suspicious to those neighbors out there. But somebody in a deputy's vehicle, which was going by, which my daughter said, he can get out. And he can walk up and the neighbors are not going to really see anything. And then across the street, they might have sold that ranch. But they used to park there all the time. There was something going on out in that area. Like a lot of deputy vehicles at night. And he could have walked up. Maybe, and if somebody asked, oh, we're just checking out. We had a report, liars. And then, that don't look suspicious if it's deputy. Maybe we're just checking it out. And then just walk in. Look around. Knowing they're in Mexico. Knowing they're out of town. Then go out the back door. I was living. So I called the captain of that deputy. I re-explained everything. I said, now, you guys, this is more than likely what happened out there. Explain the history of it. I said, and you made illegal entry into my daughter's home, a female. And you walked through that fucking residence, and you think somehow you're above the law? Finally, he understood what was going on, and I'm sure he had a talk with him. You see, but the problem in South Texas, you could be an officer committing felonies, and in-house, those chiefs and those people, they treat those felonies as we have to do an in-house discipline. Many years ago, when I went into the Central Police Department downtown, bitching. And there was an officer that's clear. You don't go into it anymore. They closed that thing down. But I remember the complaint, whatever one it was. I said, what about if an officer murders somebody, shoots somebody? I said, you make a complaint. That's not reported as a crime in the sense of a 911 call. He said, you bring it to us and we'll look at it. Never forget that. So you have one dead in Sandia in Mathis. You couldn't take the knife from that kid. You couldn't be smart enough to recognize there's something going on. And because your protocol, you approach somebody and you have a knife, we can shoot you. Yep, that is the law. So you need discretion in it. The same entity that I just explained. I went out to my daughter's ranch. I had to put up all types of fucking recording equipment. I covered this at the time. You're not just talking a little stepping over lines. You're talking rank criminality in law enforcement. That's what you're talking. Why the Huey thing? I won't do it. You were not just talking about little stepping over lines. You were talking about open criminality by people in law enforcement in South Texas to even target somebody's daughter. The vulnerability is you hope that Jim Wells County would give some type of policing in that county, not committing felonies themselves, making illegal entry. Checking out, looking out, scoping the place. Oh, if my daughter happened to be in there at the time, oh, we didn't know, we shot her. We were just investigating, so we had to kill her. And then you cover that shit up. You then get over a period of time. Well, Lister's dead, his family's grieving, and his son and family still have questions to this day. So he's dead. Oh, officer involved shooting. No, that's a murder. That's a killing. Even if a person on the street in self-defense shoots somebody else, do you ever refer to it as a civilian involved shooting? It's a homicide. Then later, if it was self-defense, yes, it's not going to be tried. You need to change the language, the attitude, and the behavior of so-called law enforcement in South Texas. So now you got a dead kid because he had some mental problem and he had an axe. Take the kid down when he's outside. You're going to then make entry into that residence, knowing there's a medical condition. The parents called because they knew that there was something wrong with that kid. And then, we killed him. Welcome to South Texas.